Welcome back. We're ready for the start of the second quarter. Tied score, 7 apiece. Montana and Portland State. Portland State facing a 3rd and 7 from their own 12-yard line. Big chance for the Grizzlies to win the field position war. Showing blitz, but backing off. Blanchard back to throw. Getting pressured up the middle by Jeremiah Boonshane. Flares it out. He's got his receiver and a first down. No flags on the play. That's our Schwanto Bryant with the first down.
Well, that was a broken play, and again, experience on Jimmy's part to scramble out of there and make something happen. Bryant realizes he's in trouble. It's a broken route, just heads up field, and he gets an excellent play on their part, kind of a makeshift improvisation.
So a big first down for the Vikings. Gets them out of danger territory deep in their own half of the field. Brings up first down and 10. They give it to Dunn, who was just buried by Tyler Martin. No gain on the play.
Tyler with a nice job shedding his blocker, maintaining his field of vision, and doing an excellent job getting a hold of Dunn on that play.
So that's going to bring up a second down and 10. No gain on the play. And it looks like the Grizzlies defensively have been able to follow their game plan. Dunn has not been a big factor thus far. There is a flag down. Too many men in motion, I believe, is going to be the call as they hand it off to Dunn, who gets taken down by Trey Young, maybe even behind the line a little bit.
I think the fullback took off a little early. That'll be a procedure penalty.
That is the call, and now the Grizzlies have a little bit of a decision because they were able to stop them there. So we take another look at it. Kind of hard to tell right there, but it was clear that too many guys were moving.
Illegal motion on the offense. The penalty is declined, 3rd down.
The Grizzlies do decline the penalty because Dunn was taken down behind the line. A loss of 4 on the play, so that now brings up 3rd down and 13 for the Vikings. Blanchard backs up, has time, nobody open, pressured by Andy Pedic, just throws it out of bounds. Good coverage in the secondary for the Grizzlies, forcing Blanchard to throw it out.
That play is exactly what Montana's defensive game plan has been. Get him in 3rd and long and then stay back and play tough defense on coverage, and they did a nice job.
So now the Grizzlies a chance to have great field position for their next drive.
Michael Westbrook, safety for Montana.
Dan France back to punt. Michael Westbrook back to receive it. It's a low one, not a very good kick. Gets a decent Portland State bounce, but the Grizzlies are still going to have great field position at their own 41-yard line for their next drive and the win at their backs. Perhaps they might, I know the game plan was to run, but they might try to go downfield with the wind.
Well, the wind will help them should they decide to go deep, but you know, knowing Billy Cockhill and what they've talked about all week, they're going to stay with the game plan to run. But yes, down the road on a long throw, that wind would be an advantage.
Well, John Edwards certainly has gotten off to a solid start, 6 of 7, 33 yards. Not a whole lot of yardage, but some completions, and the offense has been able to move the ball. 4 wide receivers, Ben Drinkwalter in the backfield. Edwards going to flare it out to him. One gets away from him just a little bit, falls incomplete.
There wasn't much there anyway if he would have caught it. You know, last week a few folks were asking Coach Glenn, why don't you throw it deep? Didn't you throw it deep more often? And what he said in explanation was, look, a lot of people are just playing us deep. They're taking away the odds of a completed long ball, so we're going underneath a lot. And I think you'll see that today. Portland State's defense plays pretty soft.
2nd down and 10. A little motion there on the offense. Dylan McFarland, the tackle, moved a little early. So right now the penalties, more than anything, hurting the Grizzlies' offense as they try to move the ball.
Before the snap, false start on the 5-yard penalty.
Now, you talked about John Edwards with that hard count, perhaps getting his own teammates there.
I'm not sure if the crowd was a little bit of a factor, or just getting excited to get the block going on that. Looked like a play to the right side.
Joe Glenn does not seem very happy over there on the sidelines. 2nd down and 15 now for the Grizzlies. As he hands it off to Ben Drinkwalter, he's got a little bit of room. Able to gain about 4 yards on the play.
And that's a sign, I think, of patience on the Montana offensive side of the ball. It's 2nd and 15. A lot of people would be throwing. They go ahead and run the ball to the right side, pick up about 5 yards.
Tackle made there by Tino Redamosa. Brings up a 3rd down and 12. And the Grizzlies going to spread things out now. 3 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. Jimmy Ferris alone up top. Edwards back to throw. Had some time, but then gets buried by D'Angelo Hunter, who has been a factor in this game so far. That's the 2nd time he's gotten to John Edwards.
Well, what's interesting there, it's just a 3-man rush, but Hunter does a wonderful job of coming inside, and John steps up into the inside and steps up right into him. But Mr. Hunter did an awesome job that time.
Kamakana Kamaloa getting beat on the play. Brings in Mike Reedy to punt. He gets it away. A nice high punt. Backs Rashad Floyd up. Called for the fair catch. He's going to get it, I believe, just within his own 20-yard line. And so the Grizzlies still able to back Portland State up with a nice punt.
Yeah, the wind definitely helped that punt, I'd say by at least 10 yards.
So the Grizzly defense now being called to the challenge. And early on, it looked like we may have been in for another shootout, but you said you'd be surprised if that continued, and that has been the case. The defense and penalties have kind of kept the offenses at bay. We stay tied at 7.
Yeah, and Montana's defense is, again, forcing the pass, and we'll see if Portland now starts to throw because the run has not worked.
So Portland State now trying to go into the wind. 1st and 10 at their own 21. They give it to Dunn. He gets taken down a yard short. There is a flag on the play.
Again, you see Montana bringing everybody up front, really making them. Now this is, Mr. Dunn is hurt. He's tapping his head as if he needs to come out. He's also limping. That could be the play of the game if he can't come back.
Yeah, that is a hold. And Charles Dunn had a problem with his lower leg last week. And apparently it is giving him problems, and that is absolutely a monster injury for Portland State if he is unable to return. He's now running, so it looks like he might be all right. But he is coming out of the play.
Holding. Penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay 1st down.
That's a hold from the spot of the foul now, so that's going to move them back deep into their own territory as we take another look at it.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, both teams really hurting themselves with penalties. And, of course, when you're on offense, to start inside the 10 is not a good place to start from.
So 1st and 19 from their own 10-yard line now. Grizzlies bringing the blitz up the middle. It's a little screen play to Terry Charles, who's going the wrong way. And he gets taken down within the 5-yard line, and he's a great player, but that's not a great play.
Well, you usually don't run screen inside the 10. It's kind of a rule of thumb if you look in the playbook. Laurels of coaching football, but Terry did he tried to make something happen, and as you said, he went the wrong way and actually lost yardage.
And I think the Grizzly defense now gaining confidence because this team did light them up last year. I think now they're saying, hey, these guys are human. And they're starting to really put the clamps on them. It's now 2nd and 27 from their own 4-yard line. The Grizz bring the blitz again, trying to get to him. That one's thrown up just for grabs as Blanchard was hit on the play by Adam Boomer, and it falls incomplete. So it's going to bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, it looked like the ball might have been tipped as he threw it because it came out of there wobbling a lot. Let's see. No, he just his hand must have turned and the ball didn't rotate correctly.
Yeah, I think Adam Boomer had just started kind of cranking on his leg there as he tried to get rid of it.
Well, you mentioned field position, Grayson, and this is a big part of what's waging right now is the field position game.
There you see Charles Dunn on the sidelines, walking around under his own power. but not in the game right now on a 3rd and 27. Blanchard back to throw, has time, going deep to Charles. That one's picked off by Calvin Coleman. Makes the big play for the Montana defense.
Well, we talked about how Montana was going to defense the pass. Remember last year, Portland State just ran roughshod over Montana's defense. The coaches said they were going to double team the 2 outside guys, and that's what they did here. Again, inside out coverage, the ball's going to waver in that wind, and it's almost an easy interception.
As you saw there, a classic example of what you were telling us before the game and throughout the game. They're going to double team them, one up top, one underneath. There's no way you're going to get that ball into Terry Charles. Calvin Coleman comes up with the pick, and so the Grizz offense, 1st and 10 from Portland State's 37-yard line. They fake the handoff play action. D'Angelo Hunter, though, coming again. Jimmy Ferris was wide open down the field, but John Edwards never had a chance. D'Angelo Hunter single-handedly taking apart the Grizzly offense, beating Kamakana Kamaloa, and needs to figure out something.
Yeah, an excellent job. He is very quick, and you can see the Montana linemen kind of hitting their heads going, oh, no, I missed the block. But you mentioned Jimmy Ferris was wide open on the post route.
Makes 2nd and 15 now from the 42-yard line. Grizzlies hand it off to Johansi Humphrey. Gets a chunk of it back, about the yardage that they lost. So he gets to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 10. And the Grizzlies really need to start taking advantage of some of these opportunities.
Well, you've got to know that the offensive coordinators upstairs, Billy Cockhill and crew, saw Jimmy Ferris open on that post route. They wouldn't come back to it immediately, but I would say in this drive, if they do get this 1st down, you'll see him come back to that.
So a 3rd down and 10. Jimmy Ferris is at the top of your screen. Johansi Humphrey in the backfield. John Edwards back to throw, steps up in the pocket. He's going to run. He's going to be well short of the 1st down. Only gains about 3 yards, going to bring up 4th down and 7. And I don't believe he is, well, with the wind, they might be close enough for a field goal attempt.
They're talking about a little bit on the sideline. John does a nice job stepping up, and what he does smart here, doesn't throw an interception. Atu wanted it across on a crossing route there.
They are going to attempt the field goal. Chris Snyder in.
52 yards if he makes it.
He's got the wind to his back, and it is strong. And it is good. 52-yard attempt. Look at Mr. Snyder. Joe Glenn runs out there to congratulate him. Of course, that is a career long for Chris Snyder on his very short career. But what a boost for the freshman.
That's the Anderson family from Missoula right there on that shot. Grayson, they came all the way from Missoula. They couldn't be more excited. Dave Anderson and crew.
The Grizzlies now on top of Portland State, 10-7. Welcome back. We're ready to kick it off. Grizzlies lead 10-7. Snyder's kick. This one a little bit shorter, taken at the 4-yard line by Ershwante Bryant. He's got a crease. Makes his way over the 30 to the 33-yard line. No flags down on the play, so that's where Portland State's going to start with it at their own 33-yard line. As we take a look at Chris Snyder's field goal, the scoring drive, 4 plays, just 2 yards, but a 52-yard field goal by Chris Snyder's previous loan, 37, so he's feeling pretty good.
And as you said, Joe Glenn's one of the first guys to meet him as he comes out, big smile on his face, and that's the way he coaches these guys. He's very positive coach for the Montana players.
So with 8:57 left in the half, Portland State with the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line. 3 wide receivers to the top of your screen. They fake that and they hand it off. We'll see, that is Charles Dunn back in the game, gets nothing.
Well, Tyler Martin, the fake pass draw didn't fool him one bit. He shed his blocker. Watch him here. He's kind of swim move and then fills the gap.
Absolutely nothing so far on the ground for Portland State, which was the game plan. Tyler Martin and crew just making piles, and they can't find their way around them. 2nd down and 10 now from their own 33-yard line. They hand it off to Dunn again. This time a little more room, but a little more room today means 2 yards.
Montana had 8 guys on the line of scrimmage, or about within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage on that play. Again, they're forcing Portland State to throw. And we'll see at halftime or within this drive if Portland State starts to go away from their game plan, which is the run.
Well, Portland State's, their confidence on offense may be wavering just a little bit. They only scored 9 points against Weber State. They've had a tough time here after their first drive. 3rd down and 7 now on their own 37-yard line. Jimmy Blanchard, they bring the blitz, the little corner blitz. Blanchard, though, plenty of time, but that one knocked down on a great play right now. Kyle Scholl is kicking himself. He wished he had picked that up, but still a terrific play, knocking it down. Good bring up 4.
About 4 times today, Montana has just been a step away from a sack. And again, part of that's because Jimmy Blanchard's an excellent quarterback, and he's sidestepped a lot of these tackles. This time, Damon Parker blitzes from the outside and is just a step away.
So it's 4th down. The Vikings will have to punt it. Blanchard's only been sacked 7 times this year, by far the lowest amount in the Big Sky Conference. Michael Westbrook takes the kick, really nothing there, but he squirts free, and he is dangerous. Well, it's not going to be too long until he takes one all the way back. He's only able to get a few yards out of that one, and so the Grizzlies will have it with 7:27 left in the half. The Grizzlies will come back with the ball at their own 32-yard line. Welcome back. 7:27 left in the first half. Montana up 10-7, and with the ball, they will start out at their own 32-yard line. Johansi Humphrey again in the backfield, looking good so far today. They hand it to him. Oh, he's been looking good, but there's nothing you can do. Ryan Masiak comes in and just cleans house.
Now a little counter, and they're pulling both offside linemen to lead a little trap play to the outside, but one way you beat a trap is to have those guards fill quicker than the trap can develop. That's exactly what happened. They get a nice stop here by Portland State.
Loss of 4 brings up 2nd down and 14. The Grizzlies do have the wind to their back. 2 wide receivers to the top of your screen. Atu Molden in the slot. Edwards looking, has time, goes downfield. That one dropped, though, by Spencer Frederick.
You won't see Spencer drop too many. That ball was thrown a little bit behind him, so you can't blame him for necessarily dropping it, but most of the time he'll catch this kind of pass. You know what, John's doing a nice job. He's not making any big mistakes that are causing the team, interceptions. He's just doing a nice job playing within himself.
Brings up a 3rd and 14 now. Big play for the Viking defense as they try to get the ball back. Edwards back to throw, has time, springs it out to Johansi Humphrey, who loses his feet, or he would have had a first. Great catch made, though, short of the first down by several yards.
I think we'll see on the replay, I think Yo had to kind of stretch to get the ball. If it would have been thrown into his chest, he could have stayed on his feet. He might have had the first down.
Well, Humphrey probably has the best balance on the entire team, so when he goes down, he had to spread himself out to get that one. So it brings in Mike Reedy to punt, 4th and 7. Gets it away. It's a good one. Taken by Rashad Floyd. Tackle missed early in the run back, but still good coverage as he's able to make his way out to the 27-yard line. That's where Portland State will start with it. Again, going into the wind. And they really have not been able to get a whole lot going since that first drive.
As you mentioned, both teams have, I think quarterbacks are playing very well. Not making a lot of mistakes. Jimmy's been pressured for Portland State, but hasn't thrown any interceptions. And John Edwards has been pressured, and about the same, really.
1st down and 10 from their own 28-yard line. 3 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. They throw the little screen pass. Ashwante Bryant avoids Damon Parker, the first tackler, able to get a pretty good gain, 6 yards on the play.
Huntsberger brings it down.
That was a nice execution that time. It's not too often you'll see Damon miss the tackle, but he plays the inside shade. Nice job kicking it outside and picking up good yardage.
So that's going to bring up 2nd down and 5. They hand it off to Dunn. He's got some room. up the middle, able to pick up a couple of yards, but still looks like he's going to be just short of the first down. Well, he got a pretty favorable spot, so he gets the first.
It looks like he's fine. You know, he limped off earlier, but what a great athlete he is. And he looks like he's back to full speed.
Dunn getting a favorable spot, so that gives him a first down now with 5:48 left in the first half. Grizzlies trying to hang on to their 10-7 lead.
You know, it's hard to believe that he won't be a factor as this game develops. He is an excellent running back.
Grizz show blitz. They swing it out to wide receiver number 80. That is Antonio Jackson. Not a whole lot there. Thrown out of bounds by Vince Huntsberger.
You know, sometimes a defense can contain a back, you know, first quarter, halfway through the second quarter, but late in the game, watch for Charles Dunn. He's just so dangerous. And again, Coach Glenn talked about it. After he breaks the initial line of scrimmage and turns on that second, third, fourth gear, he can just run away from people.
There's the secondary coach, Dave Dorn. You have to give him a lot of credit. This secondary was torched last year. He's come up with a game plan for these guys, and they have held their ground. 2nd down and 9. Blanchard going to the sidelines. Not there. There's a flag on the play. 2 flags on the play. Could be a pass interference and a personal foul.
That's exactly what it's going to be, Grayson. Late hit and probably both appropriate calls.
Trey Young came to the sidelines and absolutely lit up Arshwante Bryant, but it may have been out of bounds.
Well, and one of the problems when you have you're making a play for the ball, but when it's on your opponent's sideline, you know, the coaches and the players are going to let that official, that side judge know, and that call is about 4 times more likely on that side of the field.
So we take another look. Boy, the personal foul looks close to me. I mean, he was in the field of play.
Well, again, they're calling it on that sideline. Those officials had a lot of help. But, you know, he didn't let up, and he did give him a good shot after the incompletion, so they're going to get that call every time.
There's 2 penalties on the play. There's holding on the defense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Also on the play, after the play is over, personal foul for a late hit out of bounds on the defense. 15 more yards. First down.
The hold was on Damon Parker trying to make the play. He just held up Arshwante Bryant. And there's the personal foul. And from that angle, it does look bad. You go with the other angle, though, where he's in the field of play, where he may have come down with the ball. And that's a pretty questionable call, but doesn't make any difference. They don't care what I have to say. So it's first down and 10 at the Grizzly 35.
Like I said, on that sideline, the officials are going to get a lot of help.
So 4:54 left in the half. Portland State now moving the ball at the Grizzlies' 35-yard line. Jimmy Blanchard, a little play action, has all day to throw. Going for Terry Charles or Arshwante Bryant, who was just well covered by Damon Parker.
Yeah, give Damon a gold star for coverage on that. They did a little shifting that time. Montana's defense was out of position for a few seconds. Blanchard read that on the play action, and he went to a corner pattern here to try to get a touchdown, but Damon was all over it.
Boy, Damon Parker really had the best chance on that ball, unable to come up with the interception. Portland State will now try to take advantage of that as Jimmy Blanchard perhaps making a mistake on that throw. 2nd down and 10. They hand it off to Dunn, who gets taken down. Andy Pedic, who leads the team in tackles for a loss, takes him down behind the line.
Pedic had a very big game last week, again with his quickness, making some key stops behind the line, and that was one right there. Just watch his quickness here. Gets inside and trips up Charles.
Absolutely nothing there. Andy Pedic now with 17 tackles for a loss on the season, leads the team. Perhaps the most improved player on the entire Grizzly team. Brings up 3rd and 13 now. Blanchard back to throw. has time, goes over the middle, finds his man Antonio Jackson, who is drilled short of the first down by Dave DeCoit. Or pardon me, that was Matt Steinow on the hit. And that brings them 3 yards short of the first down. But it looks like they're going to go for it here.
You'd think they'd kick a field goal, but with the wind, that might have some bearing on why they're going to go for it. Big play here. They're going to take a timeout maybe and talk about it.
They're going to talk about this a little bit, maybe think about going for that field goal. We're going to take a break. Big play coming back. Montana up 10-7 late in the first half. Welcome back. Big play. 3:31 left in the first half. 4th down and 3. Portland State's going to go for it. They got a Charles Dunn in the backfield. They're not going to give it to him. Little play action. Blanchard rolling out. Fires. Incomplete. And the Grizzlies take over.
You know, initially, Portland State on the snap had the play they wanted. Montana shifted on the defense away from the play. Portland State had a man go in motion to the left. Montana shifted away, and there was an opening here. If they'd have run it or threw it quickly, it would have been a first down. But as he strung the ball out, the defense caught up to the receivers.
Dan DeCoit applying the pressure made Jimmy Blanchard throw it before he wants to. He's very hard to sack. Their offensive line is excellent. He throws the ball away a lot. But if you can make him throw it before he wants to, that's where you can have success. 3:26 left in the first half now, and the Grizzlies take over. They hand it off to Johansi Humphrey. He's got a hole. Ooh, slides down. Just slips, still gets 7 yards on the play.
He was one cut away from making about 10 or 15 more yards. He is a great back. You know, we talk so much about Charles Dunn. This is a good job. He just slips a little bit.
Taken down by Donnerberg, who we have not heard a whole lot of today. He is the leading tackler for Portland State. 3 minutes and counting now. Grizzlies 2nd down and 4. Edwards hands it off again to Yo. Almost gets taken down early, but still driving his way forward. Picks up the first down and more, down to the 44-yard line of the Grizzlies.
What a running back. He is just something special. We've talked about it all day. Again, watch here. Nothing there. Keeps his feet moving, still picks up a first down and drives some more.
Just running over people. 2:43 and counting now. Grizzlies on the move again. Edwards, again handing it off to Yo. Yo kind of dives up the middle there. 3, maybe 4 yards on the play. And Montana's going to take a timeout.
Almost surprised at this, Grayson. They've got the clock. It's moving in their favor. They close out the half with the clock moving. But it shows that they want another touchdown if they can get one.
Johansi Humphrey, 15 carries, 77 yards, so very impressive. Even more impressive with the fact that he hasn't played in several weeks. And everyone knows he's a terrific back, but when you take a few weeks off, you do tend to have a little rust.
Hey, you'd think he would be a little rusty, but it seems like the rest has actually inspired him, and the line is blocking very well for him.
Some young linemen still in there. Dylan McFarland, who is really coming of age now as he's played in 3 games. Doing an excellent job. The redshirt freshman from Kalispell.
Now you can see the brain trust over there from Montana going to work. Drew Miller with a headset on talking to John Chad Germer and the rest of the staff helping out.
I'd imagine you still stay relatively conservative in this situation?
Well, that's why I was surprised on the timeout. You'd think they would and run the clock and try to get a first down or two, but now I'm starting to think they're going to look at maybe a long ball within this series. Ron Richards, also offensive coordinator for Montana, on the sideline. He'll be working with Coach Cockill, figuring that play out.
2nd down and 7 now for the Grizzlies. Edwards fakes the handoff. Then on the screen to Jimmy Ferris, who has all kinds of room. He's got the sidelines. He's got one man to beat, and he does it. He gets into the end zone. Great play call. Touchdown for the Grizzlies.
Well, That's, we just talked about it. Why they call a timeout there when they're running the clock? You think they're going to just kind of put it away running the ball. And here's what they, little play action, almost get burned on it because of a great play by the defensive end. But then Jimmy Ferris, he's Mr. Johnny on the spot, clutch player, by the way, breaks it down the sideline for a great run and a touchdown.
And boy, when he's got open field, look out, because all these guys can fly, but of course he's a track star, and he just burned down the track right there. A little Maurice Green invitation into the end zone, giving Montana a 16-7 lead. Snyder on for the extra point. And it's up and good, and Montana's looking good now as they take advantage. Let's take a look at it again.
Yeah, great screen. You see the linemen out front, and they love to make that play, block it, and then Jimmy does the rest. Look at that gait. He just has a beautiful stride. Score a touchdown. He's a game winner.
Jimmy Ferris, huge play. That's the big play that perhaps has been lacking, but you got to really give the offensive coordinators credit. They've been so patient. They've been positive. Everything has been a positive play outside of the penalties. Boom. Finally broke the big one.
Well, Coach Glenn talked about it a little bit, what you're talking about. He said, hey, guys, we're going to have to start smelling blood. This is in our hands. And I think that Montana coaches are pleased with that. And destiny is decided by their efforts. And I know Coach Glenn talked to his players about that this week. Look, you control your own destiny. Let's get it done. And, boy, they're doing an awfully good job right now here in the first half.
So that makes it 17-7 now. The Montana fans are happy. There are lots of them here.
That's Christy Clark from UM. She's enjoying it with the Anderson family there.
And the Grizz fans cautiously happy because there's still a whole nother half to play, but right now they've got to be thrilled with the way that their boys are playing.
Dwayne Anderson there, a little Grizzly coach here in Missoula, and in Missoula, made the trip over. His brother, Dwayne, Dave works over here in Portland.
And they're braving some very windy, cold conditions, but we have not seen a whole lot of the rain, which we thought could be a factor. The kickoff, Snyder kicking it deep, taken there at the 2-yard line. Little bit of room, but then taken down. Not sure who that was on the tackle. That was Kyle Scholl on the tackle. Number 37 on the return. That's Hasim Hall. And so Portland State will now start out with the ball with 2 minutes left in the first half. They will take over possession at the 20-yard line.
Well, the Achilles heel for Montana this year a little bit has been their kickoff return coverage. So right now they have to be smiling to actually have the ball on the 21-yard line.
And that is one area where Portland State's not very good. They're last in the conference in kick returns. 1st and 10, Blanchard dropping back, looking to throw, has his man only for about a yard, taken out by Calvin Coleman, and that's the big tight end, Tim Hester, on the reception.
That time Montana came with a blitz. Jimmy, excellent decision. He saw it. He threw the quick relief pass and avoided the sack. And again, Mr. Blanchard's done a very nice job. A lot of good decisions.
2nd down and 10. They're ruling there is no gain on the play. May have gained about a foot. Blanchard going back to throw, has time, going over the middle, and that one is picked off by Adam Boomer. And the Grizzlies are going to take over possession at the 26-yard line.
Well, we just talked about him making a lot of great decisions, and that was the first mistake that he's really made. And the first mistake he makes, Montana capitalizes on. And a great read by the linebacker coming underneath that. Boomer did a nice job to come back and get that.
He was trying to go to Hester again, and a nice catch because he rifled that in there pretty well. A nice catch made by Adam Boomer, and the Grizzlies have great field position now at the 26-yard line, up 17-7 with under 2 minutes left in the half. And this is one where I think you kind of have to tell the guys, be patient, be careful.
Yeah, the last thing you'd want is a turnover, but a touchdown or a field goal here would be awfully big going into halftime.
John Fitzgerald in motion. Ben Drinkwalter in the game, gets the handoff. He's got some room. It closes down quickly. There is a flag down on the play. It looks like this might be a hold on Dylan McFarland.
Well, Montana's had its share of holding penalties, and that's something I'm sure that's going to cause them concern in the locker room at halftime. They just have to get away from that. This might drive them out of field goal range nearly. Of course, they hit a 52-yarder before, but your odds decrease a lot as you back up.
As we take another look, let's see if we can find where the hold is.
Yeah, right there. Right in the middle.
Dylan McFarland just getting wrapped around Ruben Ricketts. And really, the offense has been patient. They've had the big play, but that's been what's kind of held them back a little bit, are some of those penalties.
Well, you mentioned last week they had some red zone problems. Today they've really not. They've improved greatly from a
on
week
the offense.
ago.
10-yard
But,
penalty
of course, a
from
lot
the
of
spot
that's
of the foul. Replay
due to
first down.
Hansi Humphrey being back.
We saw Joe kind of yelling at the guys saying, hey, let's not hold. We've got a golden opportunity here. Let's take advantage. And Ben Drinkwalter is in the game. I believe he's just giving Hansi Humphrey a little break. They give it to Drinkwalter. Makes a good move to get past the first tackler. Gets a chunk of that yardage back, close to the original line of scrimmage.
Well, as you said, Drinkwalter's not quite the shifty runner that Yo is, but he is pretty powerful, and that time he showed some intelligence because the defense was there, and he actually read the defensive tackler and cut inside.
The Grizzlies are going to take a timeout now, continue to talk about things as they come up with a 2nd down and 11. And again, I believe Drinkwalter is just in the game to give Hansi Humphrey a spell, a little rest. I don't believe that Humphrey is hurt at the moment, as he's been a huge factor in this game, and the running game has really been able to come alive a little bit. And don't want to take anything away from Brandon Malcolm the last couple of weeks, but he was a freshman who really wasn't going to play at all this year, except was forced into action due to injuries. Did an admirable job, but at this point in his career, he's not the running back that Hansi Humphrey is.
Right, or even maybe Ben. He did a nice job coming in and filling. See what the Grizzly timeout again. Last time they went with a wide receiver screen to the outside and scored on it. With a minute 37, we'll see if they want to run the ball. 2nd and 11. There's a lot of time. They can have a lot of options.
2nd down and 11 from the 27-yard line. A minute 37 left in the first half. Ferris in motion. Edwards to throw. He's got time. He's going to run. He's got some room. He's going to need to make a move. He does. He's going to be just short of the first down. But that is an element to the game that Edwards brings that Drew Miller does not do all that well. It's about the only thing Drew doesn't do well.
Yeah, Drew's a great thrower and a wonderful mind on the field, but John does a nice job tucking it here and picking up close to a first down.
And they're in the hurry up now. A minute 10 left. 3rd down and 2. Edwards to throw, and this one is thrown right to Rashad Floyd, who's going to take it all the way back for a Portland State touchdown. And that was the one mistake that John Edwards could not afford to make, and that lets Portland State right back in the ballgame.
Well, it's just a quick outlet pass. We talked about both quarterbacks not making any bad decisions. Jimmy Blanchard made one to give Montana the ball, and that time John made one throwing it right really to him. He stepped in front. Now the second mistake he made here is to fall down, jump down. He probably should have kept running with him, tried to ride him out of bounds opposed to trip him.
And Rashad Floyd, who leads Portland State in interceptions, that's his 4th of the year, probably the biggest. He is able to take that all the way back for the touchdown as John Edwards makes a terrible mistake throwing it right to Floyd. Some miscommunication there because the receiver was really nowhere close. France in for the extra point, and it is good. And this one all of a sudden has gotten a whole lot closer. Portland State now down by 3 as Montana leads 17-14 with 52 seconds left in the first half.
Now you see the howitzer over there. It goes off at every touchdown. Kind of Montana's version of the cannon. You know, it's just such a big mistake, as you said, in that it's you have a team down away from your home field and you're in a hostile environment. Everybody, the crowd is out of it, and you're ready to put them away, really. And then just like that, it's back to an extremely tight game. Well,
and that play very reminiscent of last week against Northern Arizona, when the Grizz were in the red zone near the end of the first half. This one went all the way back. John Edwards was able to make the tackle against the Lumberjacks. But just some miscommunication there, it looked like, because the receiver was really not in the area.
Well, I think it was a great read by the defensive back. He saw what was coming in front of him, and he stepped in front of the receiver. Give him an excellent grade on that one. He did a super job.
Well, the Grizz special teams now will try to retake the momentum, which has clearly swung back to the Vikings now. 52 seconds left, so still some time to do something if they can get some good field position. This one's just going to be a hard squib kick. Ike Mincy has some trouble, but then jumps on it at the 33-yard line. That's where the Grizzlies will take over, and they might be content to just run the clock out here with 49 seconds left in the half.
Well, we'll see. I would definitely run the ball, maybe take a couple shots with no time on the clock, go deep. Virtually with a few seconds where an interception wouldn't result in a touchdown. See, that's a problem with those quick passes on the outside, or if they get intercepted, there's no defense to come back to.
Johansi Humphrey is back in the game for this drive. And the Grizz, at least by their formation, show that they're going to try to do something here. They've got 3 wide receivers. Edwards going to throw. Going deep, he's got a man. Jimmy Ferris on the sidelines. Jimmy, one man to beat. He does. He breaks the tackle, and he goes into the end zone. Wow, I think John Edwards may have his confidence back.
Well, I'll tell you what, Grayson, that is the case of the coach going over to John after the interception, putting his arm around him and saying, look, you're okay, you made a mistake, we're going to come back. And what I like about that call by Mr. Cockhill, he let John come back and save face quick and get confidence back. That was an excellent call.
So we take another look. There was a man underneath in coverage, so if this ball was not on the mark, it would have been a problem. But John Edwards coming right back, and Jimmy, the senior, we say it all the time. I mean, Jimmy is just, he's a winner. Chris Snyder's kick is partially tipped, but up and good. So that makes it 24-14. Getting back to Jimmy Ferris, he's a star.
Yeah, he's a game winner. He's the kind of person that if the game is on the line, he wants the ball. We saw it at Idaho when they played the Vandals. We see it here. We saw it at Eastern Washington. He's a great player.
Wow, and nobody's ever going to accuse Joe Glenn of not having some guts, because really, I don't think anyone would have blamed him for running the clock.
I like what he mentally does for a player to come back and give him that confidence. It tells him, even when you're making the call, when they bring the call in, that we have confidence in you, even if it's incomplete. Go out and try to make a play. That was a great call.
How's that for a scoring drive, folks? One play, 68 yards. It took 10 seconds, just long enough for Jimmy Ferris to run down the field, and that's it. And he can really motor, so that was a phenomenal play there for the Grizzlies as they up their lead now to 24-14, 39 seconds left. And the first half generally has really flown. There's been quite a bit of running plays, and it's been a quick half, except for this last minute where we've had a couple of long touchdowns.
It's been entertaining, no doubt. I don't think anybody here, even though it's been raining on and off, has minded it one bit.
So Chris Snyder now ready to kick off. 39 seconds left. He kicks it. This one deep for Schwante Bryant. I don't think he's going to take it. He's not. He's going to down it. So they will start out at the 20 with 39 seconds left and going into the wind.
Well, that wind has been a factor all first half, and the second half, whichever team has it to their back in the fourth quarter will have a nice advantage. There's Tim Walsh, the back of Tim Walsh, the head coach for the Vikings. They really built this game up big in Portland. Everywhere we went talking to people, what we heard was a must win. And I guess it is because they got beat at Weber last week, but they have really touted this as the game for Portland State.
So the Grizz are in a prevent defense. They're just going to hand it off to Chip Dunn. And that's one of the longer runs he's had, and it's been against the Grizzly prevent defense, and it's still only for about 5, maybe 6 yards. 26 seconds and running. And at least right now, Although there are 3 wide receivers in this formation, but at least right now it looks like Portland State content to just run the clock out, go into the locker room down 10.
Yep, you're exactly right. I thought they would run more play and maybe run them deep, but with the wind in their face, probably a good decision by the team.
You can hear a few boos around here as Portland State, some of the fans, I think, wanted the Vikings to try to go for that one.
Well, the wind is such a factor. I think Coach Walsh made a good decision there.
So the Grizzlies, thanks to a huge play just before the end of the half, they will go into the locker room up 24-14, and I think so far they've been able to accomplish their game plan. We're going to have some halftime festivities coming up, so stay tuned.